Hi Kamal. Thank you very much for doing this interview with us. I welcome you to Project ConcreteJungle. Before we begin, about your new venture, Fluent Space, why don't you share a little bit about your background?
Okay. I'm a born and bred DJ boy. I'm a very technical person. I've always liked computers, but I'm a late comer to it. In the past 2 years, I've been running a Ruby on Rails consultancy. So what we do is we help startups build their first version of their products and push it, to be publicly released. And that's pretty much what I've been doing prior to this. So I've been building products for other people.
How long have you been building products for people?
About 2 years now.
2 years now.
Yeah.
So, so you pretty much have some experience in terms of building products.
Definitely, yeah. So, and all the things that come with it, the difference is obvious. That building a web product on a web, building something physical. There's some differences to it, but there's a lot of things we share in common. Definitely when it comes to like pricing, marketing, listening. So like right now, like if you listen to what's going on on the startup world. Everybody's all about lean startup, like building just enough. What's your most minimum viable product? And that's true as well. That carries over to physical products like Fluent Space. So we build something minimum. In fact, you should have seen us on our first day. We had no tables. We had only one small table, but we had invited 10 people to check it out, and we were like scrambling, like, okay, how do this? But yeah, it's something minimum viable product. Listen to the customers, build, or in the case of Fluent Space, acquire things that they need. So, for example, we didn't have like a printer for a long time, and just go with the flow. Really, not one big boom, but gradual and in response to what people want.
So how do you start off as a Ruby on Rails developer? I mean, what made you to become where you are today?
When I first started, I actually worked as a technology consultant, IT consultant in a company called Accenture. So they're a global consulting company, and particularly I was a tech consultant in the group that serviced the telco industry. Work was alright, interesting, but I was reading a lot of news, a lot of RSS feeds, and Ruby on Rails around 2005 was really, 2006 was really picking up. And so I had to check it out. And I had a history of dabbling with web, building stuff on web. In 1999, 98, PHP and MySQL, there were a lot of tutorials for it. And when I looked at it and could really understand what it was, I had this aha moment, like, I can build anything, It's all just delivered on the browser. I just can make stuff in HTML and hook it up with the backend, and I pretty much can make anything. But Ruby on Rails really gave me the next aha moment. Was like, wow, they really thought about how they've been building web. So the guy who built it has been building for a long time, and he just wanted a better way to do it. And yeah, Ruby on Rails really delivered that, and from an idea in your head, it really translated well into your fingertips, and writing code was a joy. In fact, that you could build and build products in a way. It's quite easy and fast. So that's how I got into Rails. More of like, while I was working, things came out, I checked it out, and it was more of like a pastime kind of thing for me at that time.
So you had a day job, and at the same time you were really kicking it after working hours to learn out about Ruby on Rails and developing things using Ruby on Rails.
Yeah.
What was the first project that you did that finally made you go, I can make money with this?
Well, actually, there was one project. It's well known in Malaysia, at least to the younger generation. It's a platform for advertisers and for agencies to poll young people about their opinions on stuff, about their products, and it's still running today. That was my first gig, my first freelance gig. And and people actually wanted to pay me money for it, which was interesting because I had always been in a salary position. I've never done any freelance work. And so usually, the question that comes up is like, okay, so how much is it? I was like, let me think. Any amount you gave me, really, the secret was at that time, any amount you gave me, I would have done it anyway, because I love Ruby on Rails. It was such a joy to program with, and now someone wants to pay me to do it. So yeah, any amount. But then over time, I got wiser and talked to more people, freelancers in other places. Definitely bombed a few requests, like when people were asking out of Singapore, for example. And so there were until today, there's not that many Ruby on Rails developers. So, but then I bombed a few times where you're looking for your rates, what would the market be okay with, and what do you think you're worth. And so definitely a few times I got a bit bold and just like ask, why not this amount? It's like, wow, it's too much.
Will you be able to share what was the first site you did?
Which one?
The very first project that you did at the one with the social the one with the kids.
So it's more tuned to teenagers and young adults, just people just starting up 20, between a range of 15 to 30. I think that's their range.
It's still running today?
It's still running today under a different name.
Oh, I see.
Originally, when I built it, it's called Youth Asia. Is it called Youth Asia? No, it's called Youth Space, owned by Youth Asia. The product is called Youth Space. Today it's called Says. This Says.my, in fact. It's the same team that if you've read the news, they started Group Small, which got acquired by Group 1. So it's that product.
Oh, great. Okay. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about Fluent Space.
Sure. So Fluent Space is really a space for people like me. I needed a space like Fluent Space, so I decided to go and build one. What it is a place for freelancers, independents, one-person, two-person companies to rent a desk and enjoy all the amenities of having your own office with a lot more things kicked in, bundled together. So, for example, what we want to encourage is collaboration. And if you look at our space and the way it's set up, it's really geared towards that. It optimizes collaboration. We have seating arrangements where there's no cubicles and there's no private rooms except for the meeting rooms. And I feel having a collection of creative people who work for their own, people who always work with clients, so there's always this, so they're a different breed of people. They're very social, very business savvy, and at the same time they can make things with their own bare hands, right? And having them all together in one place can be really powerful, and that's what Fluent Space really sets out to be. So I've been doing freelance for 2 years, and this year I decided that the business was good and I can grow more. There's more demand. So I wanted to start higher this year and get 1%, 2% more into my team, into my company. I'm currently still 1%. And getting an office that's small enough is hard. Or if we get a normal size office, it would be too big for us. So I decided to make it a bit bigger and then share it out with my friends in a way.
So you're pretty much monetizing on your challenge of your existing business.
Exactly. So instead of just having an office and I pay as a business expense every month, then this becomes also a revenue stream for Fluent Space. So that's how it came about. And also I had exposure to a similar co-working space in the US, in Portland, Oregon, and I love the concept. And I love the energy that came out of it. There were a lot of very smart people, individuals who, just because they're highly skilled, they're highly motivated, they can sustain themselves and not they don't need to be in a very traditional setup of a employee-employee relationship. So these are very highly individuals, and they work out of co-working spaces, and the one that I visited was something called Co-work or something like that in Portland. And so like there was nothing in KL until today, in fact. Although I've recently heard a lot of people, like after the visit, they're like, hey, I want to start one in Old Klang Road, I want to start one in Taman, whatever. And I'm fine with that. In fact, I strongly encourage more co-working spaces to sprout, because there's it's different, and different co-working spaces are shaped by the communities around them. And if a certain co-working space works well for a certain kind of group of people, then so it'll be better. It's a lot of, there will be hopefully more cross-pollination of the co-workers. So some people work here on some days and then work in some places other days. But the exchange of ideas, that's something that you can't you can't fabricate. It comes organically, naturally through having more co-working spaces.
What about Portland that really, the co-working space in Portland that really inspired you to build Fluent Space in Malaysia, and what do you hope to achieve with Fluent Space?
Right, so the co-working space in Portland that I went to was amazing. It is, I think, at least 10,000 square feet. The place we have is 3,000 square feet. And it was so huge that they could hold activities for the members so like their bargaining power or whatever. So for example, they would have, apart from this this work during the day, they had a pantry that you can have I think it was like soft drinks on a, like, I think it was unlimited. I think coffee was unlimited. And during the evenings, they have some days where they have a yoga instructor come in, and because there's enough people that they can actually form a class. Some other days they were teaching. So they also had, I think, in-house lawyers, accountants, so things that support. Basically, it's like support services for freelancers. So you do a lot of like contracting work. You need good contracts. You need to be able to follow up. Let's say a client fails to pay you, you need to send a threatening letter. That's true. And then like accounting, which for if you're a small outfit, I mean any level of outfit, you need some level of accounting, and having an accountant on hand that can help you maximize your earnings and stuff like that would be really helpful. That's what I saw that they had. And having that would be like so awesome, right? I mean, and I was working as an independent for the past 2 years, and I had to rely on there's a friend of mine from school last time. He's an accountant, so he's my accountant now. But it's all individual. Everybody has to solve that same problem over and over again. And actually having something bigger, something centralized, where we can provide services to a lot of people at the same time, I think that would really help to cut down on that kind of busy work, and let these people who are like creative people, let them focus on what they're good at, and so that they can probably they can do their best and work at their fullest potential while in Fluent Space. So
sort of like you take away their problems of the back end of operating a business, operating an office. You take that away from them.
Correct, and at the same time also teaching and sharing best practices, sharing what we've learned, even to the extent, I hope, if we are large enough that we can share like, okay, so this client, not a good client, bad paymaster, we have, we can talk to this guy, let's go with this guy. No, in fact that's true. So that kind of shared knowledge is really valuable, and that's something that we want, it's something that you might share with your friend who's also starting out. But I want to accelerate that, and I want to, have as many people know about it so that they can benefit from the same kind of learnings that other people have gone through.
Okay, so what do you tell us about Fluent Space as a member? What do you get? What are the services, or what are the perks of being a member of Fluent Space?
Okay, so we have 3 plans. Simplest plan, if you're just starting out, you're not sure about it, but you need a business address, which is something that I've had the need for myself in the past. We offer something called the starter plan. All that gives you is a mailbox, which you register your company, you can send your address, your mailings here, we'll pick it up, we'll notify you. And then if you allow us to do it, we'll open it and scan it, and you get your mail through as an attachment. You don't even have to step into the space. The second plan that we have is what we call a day pass. So the day pass is basically you get it's a hot desk system. You pay 40 ringgit a day. You get whatever desk is available, and you work from that. And you get internet access. You get to use the printer. You get to use the meeting rooms. You also have access to every morning we serve breakfast. So on some days it's not lemak, some other days it's roti canai, whatever, it depends on some ad hoc decision. We have that. We have coffee, which is a really good coffee bean machine that we have that can make some really good espressos and lattes. And there's also juice. Basically anything is in the pantry. That's all for you to consume. That doesn't come with the mailbox plan. That's additionally. Then finally we have the permanent desk one, which is the most popular plan that we have here. So it's everything that you get as a day pass member, but the desk that you sit on, that's going to be your desk permanently as long as you pay.
So when you stop playing,
then someone else
then someone's gonna
come in,
take your space.
Yeah. So you can leave. So we have members where they leave. They have their own, they bring their laptops, but they set up like a large monitor, keyboard, mouse, and then when they come in, they just plug it in, and then at the end of the day, they just leave the setup there, and tomorrow they come in again. And permanent desk has all of that, and including mailbox as well. So that's what you get. That's what you get explicitly. These are all the benefits that you get. What we don't put on the list is that what you get is awesomeness. You get all the sharing, collaboration that goes on. I am so amazed every day that I come in and see like Kai, who's a really good designer, talking to Ginny, and I think they're working on a project right now. Just based on from their collaboration, that collaboration came about because they were both here, they were both working from this space. So I think they're working on some iPhone app or something, because Ginny is a really good iPhone developer. So I love to see that kind of things happen, and that's something that's unwritten, but that's something sort of expected. And that's also the reason why anybody would want to work here. I feel more so than a cost reason. For a one-person company, one-person freelancer kind of thing, actually sitting at Fluent Space is pretty affordable. You can't really find office space for one person. You can find space in a Starbucks and wherever, but that's not comfortable. Actually have an office space and someone opening up for you to set up, to work, and just get out of your way. That's really hard to find, and that's something that we offer. But what's unwritten and what's expected, and why you want to do that here is because of that collaboration.
Okay. What about in your experience as a developer,
yes,
in your past life? So when you...
I'm still a developer.
Sorry. Yes, you are. Okay. So I believe when you first came about the idea of Fluent Space, the whole concept or the whole understanding of having to build something that is completely physical, that must have been overwhelming for you. And what were the challenges that you faced when building up Fluent Space?
It was, and fortunately I had help. So, for example, let's not just talk about physical products. So you can build something physical, like you're a hardware person, you can build whatever, right? But we're talking also physical and also property, which is a whole different ball game to me, and I had no idea. Fortunately, I had help from a friend of mine. His name is Z. He's actually working out from here as well. Now he's working on his startup, and he has experience. His family does a lot of property stuff, so he helped for me to look at the property agreement. He has access to a property lawyer, and how to negotiate with the property agents, because I won't tell you the secret here, but there are ways to make the deals work to the benefit of the property agent and yourself. Not so sure. But yeah, so that like property stuff, he helped me to navigate the whole thing. Like for example, I was like so clueless about like, yeah, I don't know how much would, per square foot rental, is that high or is that low? I don't know, right? There's no frame of reference. I have no idea. If you tell me like Bangsa, now it's 7 ringgit square foot for Menari OA, that's really high.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, for example, so Fluent Space here, we're operating at 3,000 square feet. We're talking about 21,000 ringgit rental every month, just for rental, not including electricity and anything. So he helped me to quickly get up to speed with property and like nitty-gritty stuff, and so help also in a way of like estimating. For example, how much electricity per square feet. You basically break down lot into square feet and think about cost in that terms. Secondly, there's also help I got from this husband-wife interior design team. They basically did the interior design for this place. Although there was a lot of challenges, learning how to navigate the world of contractors and materials, and how like a glass door is more expensive than like a cowboy door, that kind of stuff. So definitely it's a big learning curve for me. But fortunately, this was through luck, and I don't know what it is, but the people that I selected to help were very valuable to the whole process.
So when I think one of the major question mark or major challenge a lot of young entrepreneurs think about is pretty much the dollars and cents.
Yeah.
Finding the money to build a business or to build a product.
Right.
Will you be able to share a little bit about your perspective when building FluentSpace?
Sure. So the first thing I want to get out of the door is FluentSpace was entirely self-funded. It was bootstrapped from friends and family. So we were not. I did not seek institutional funding or angel funding. So it comes with its own set of challenges when you do that, right? So you're borrowing from friends and family. That it's tough, right? You have to manage. My dad always asked me about, so how many people today? How's your business? It's okay, it's building up slowly. But fortunately, because it's friends and family, they're also quite permissive in a sense. You're not under the pressure so much of delivering. Because for example, I know like when you start making money, you have to like grow big, grow fast, and that's a luxury that I have right now. And I'm trying to grow this business organically. We don't do like crazy amounts of marketing or exposure. Everything that we do is all Facebook and Twitter only. We try to grow through word of mouth, and we try to choose the kind of events that we host to maximize, for the target market. But coming on dollars and cents, at least for Fluent Space itself, so from my part for the investment, it actually came out from a very good project I came up from. I did a very good project in Singapore. So that's one thing, the arbitrage.
So you had a big chunk of money that's coming from your side, and then you're able to convince your families and friends that hey, I'm a good horse to bet on.
Yes.
Right? So
that's true. That's what it was, and it's funny because that chunk of cash that would have otherwise gone to other things. So, for example, I had to. Fortunately, I had a very understanding wife who agreed. So, if you look at it, right, basically what I did was basically whether to choose to use that chunk of money towards buying our own house, which we still don't have right now, or putting the money into my kids' college fund, whatever, or we pump it into Fluent Space. And so the decision was to pump it to Fluent Space, and I'm eternally grateful for that. And which is very important, I think, for anybody who is embarking on, even like embarking, like for example, leaving your day job to go and do your own thing, that requires a lot of understanding from the people around you, people you love. And
because these are very risky decisions.
Definitely.
What was it that really, what was the key point that really tipped the scale for you to say, you know what, I'm just going to use this cash to build this business rather than to buy a house, which is a little bit more stable?
Yes.
What was it that really pushed you? I mean, you could fail, and there goes the house.
That's true, but I think I have a lot of faith in my abilities, my own skills. Let's say, forget about Fluent Space. Let's say I sat on that chunk of cash. Let's say I did put it towards a house, and maybe the project failed. So you can't really say. I mean, the housing project failed.
Sure.
So can't really say for sure that the investment in a house is better. But what I have going for me is that I am very confident in my skills and in my skills of bringing in more business through my consulting. And the market is very hot right now. A lot of people need stuff to be built, but very few expertise out there. And I'm one of the few, not to toot my own horn, but the various testimonials around, and many people can vouch for my skills, and I deliver. So in a way, that's sort of my safety net. My skills being my safety net, my connections, my network in the industry. Web industry is not very big around here, so definitely there's the money, whatever investment, whatever money down I put for this place can be recouped. It's not totally lost. I can regenerate that amount. So in that sense, it's all.
You can sleep well at night.
Yeah, I sleep well at night. And thankfully, the concept itself, Fluent Space itself, has taken off. I think it's still in its infancy stages. But what I like, I build web products. What I like is things that make money from day one. And Fluent Space, we got the revenues from day one.
It's good.
That's what I strive for, and I feel that's a success, a minor success. We celebrate small successes. That's what I celebrated. And the second celebration is we have low churn rate. So far, everybody who was with us for the first month have renewed for the second month. So that's like small successes. Celebrate that kind of stuff. And we're attracting more and more people. This month we added a few more people.
That's good.
Yeah. So to me, it feels exciting. It feels almost like, I could do this and forget about my development stuff. But my development stuff is my cash cow.
Yeah, that's right.
So I can't really give that all away.
Okay. Do you have like 3 things you want to impart on the young, for young people who want to come out to start their own project or to embark on entrepreneurship?
Sure. So I myself came out from consulting, and consulting in Malaysia is a very lucrative field to be in. I mean, definitely one of the better paying jobs out there. And to take that plunge, into, well, to me it was a plunge into, it was a gradual plunge. I did not like suddenly, today I have a job with a good employer, and then tomorrow I wake up and say like, okay, screw all this, I want to do my own thing. To me, it was more of like testing the waters. I graduated from that company, from Accenture. I moved on to a smaller kind of company, into a startup. We were only like 3 people. No, we were like 4 people. And then that didn't work out so well. Then I moved to another startup, which was slightly bigger. But I was slowly testing the waters and seeing what's out there. I definitely made the jump because I knew when I made the jump that I had secured a project at least. So I jumped into something a bit more safe, in a safe environment. But what's the important part here is really, if you are good, there is a market out there. If you're good at anything, if you are the best person in that field, there's no reason for you to. If you were to make the decision to jump, just do it. It's really that leap of faith and sure, maybe the first month. In fact, the first month I started, I had no jobs. After that, I haven't been on the bench since then. just because you do great work, people talk about it, more people know about it, and do more great work. So it's just self-perpetuating. So if you're good, I see no problems for you to make that jump. And yeah, entrepreneurship is interesting. It's a different ball game. If you've always been like for me, for example, my whole family, none of us are entrepreneurs, so we are not very risk takers.
Not risk takers.
No, we are not risk takers, right? My dad and my mom are both educators, so they in education.
So they're even safer.
Very very safe. So so if you have any like friends or family that can give you the support of a entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur, that's amazing. You have really an advantage there. But otherwise, it's really just you saying like, okay, yes, let's do it, honey. At that time when I did it, I was already married and had my first child.
Wow.
So I was like,
it must be mind blowing.
Difficult decisions, but I'm pretty confident on my skills, and I know that people know about my skills. So that's the second part, right? People need to know about you. So how do you do that? Either you just do great work. To me, I'm not much of a marketer. I let my skills talk. That's where I am. So that's one, I think. Just do it. But make sure that you have the skills.
Yeah.
Second is definitely if you're not ready for it, definitely get yourself near it enough. Near you mix with the people who've already done it. You go to events. In KL 2 years ago, you were talking about even before that, there were not that many things happening around that you had like a support group to find people who were doing stuff like that. So the second point is, what was the second point? Let me think. Yeah, be around people who so for example, be around successes. If you're just starting out, or you're not yet starting out, you're just testing the waters, talk to people. A lot of people are very ready to be mentors, and I think that's something that's a lot of people don't realize. And we were looking at 2 years ago, there was nothing much happening, I think. And whereas now, if you're a freelancer, you do web development, you design, you do all this stuff, right? There is a support group that meets once a month, and it's something called Webcam. Amazing group of people. Now we run. So this is an event that happens every last Wednesday of the month. It attracts people who work on the web, anything like designer, developer, copywriter, community manager, those kind of people. And we have usually a series of talks by the members themselves. So far we've never had the same two members talk, because it's just so many people. We've attracted, now I think the number of members on Facebook, if you use that as a yardstick, I think we hit 500 people. At every event, consistently we hit around 70 people. And while you have talks and all that stuff, what's really more valuable to me, I find, is all the discussions, all the introductions that happen in the corridors after the event, for example. After the event, everybody goes to makan. Great time for you to meet other people who've done that, who've been there, done that, or other people who just like you want to start up. They're just starting out. You're not getting enough traction for their product, for example, or you just launched but they have performance issues. There's so many people with expertise and so ready to share. I've never seen a more diverse and very supportive group as Webcam. So definitely, number 2 is to be among people, be among the thick of things. See how it goes. And if you're still, after you hear all the horror stories, and if you're still excited about it,
a lot of horror stories.
Yes.
A lot.
Majority of it is horror stories, but only horror stories make good war stories anyways. Otherwise, people don't want to hear about all the good stuff. But yeah, I've had my share of horror stories, so yeah. I'm if anybody is interested in, I could mentor someone who's going to, like, if they want to build a web development company, I've got a lot of stories to share, a lot of lessons learned. The third thing is definitely realize that, well, the third thing is work hard. There's no substitute for it. And what's cool is you're doing it yourself, you're an entrepreneur, whatever hours that you put in is 100% to you, right? And it's 100%, it's whatever you make of it, that's what your business becomes. And it's so much, it's mind shift really. It's like for someone who's always been working in an office, as an employee, part of a bigger company, whatever the effort that you put in doesn't 100% benefit you. It benefits employers most of the time. And there's a different self-satisfaction. Actually, in fact, I shouldn't even say this, because I think if you're an entrepreneur and you work hard, that's very obvious. 100% of what you do directly translates to your business, whether it expands or it grows or it doesn't. So I don't even think number 3 is I don't know, is it obvious?
So what you reap is what you sow.
Exactly. But I don't know, is that something not obvious that people don't realize? For example, because I talked to, well, I think I brought it up because recently there was I think it was a bar camp event, and one of my friends from Penang, his name is Chang Su, he runs something called Hacker Monthly, hugely successful. And although where he sits right now is very comfortable, his business, that Hacker Monthly, is doing really well, but every day he works 15 hours a day or more. Basically, whenever he wakes up, and he starts working until late night. Yeah. And interesting, he doesn't even have to walk somewhere to sit down. He walks somewhere and just starts working because he works at a standing desk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he doesn't sit down for 15 hours, or maybe he takes a rest. I don't know. He's a bit of a superhuman. But he was giving that talk, right? And people were like, they don't agree with it. Like they said, don't you even read Tim Ferriss? He said 4-hour work week, passive income, just do something, automate the whole thing, and then just sit back. But I think there is some satisfaction. Sure, and in fact, I suggest that you automate the hell out of things. Everything you can automate. But definitely there's the human touch you need. And also I think there's a satisfaction in actually putting in the hours to see, putting in hours to your own business and see it grow. And to me, you can also treat it like a game. So it's like a game, you put in the hours, you level up, and then you see that you're reaping the profits or whatever that you sow. But I don't know, maybe it's not obvious enough that I have to say it. It's hard, working hard. But definitely, one thing as an entrepreneur, I guess the challenge is keeping focus, because you're one person. For example, let's say you're starting out, 1 or 2 person. You want to work hard. Let's say you're a builder like me. I'm a developer, building stuff. But at the same time, because you own the whole thing, you have to spend time to network, spend time to meet people, to do video interviews like this, and that takes time out. And I guess that's a challenge, and that's where the focus comes in, that's where the hard work comes in. Because during the day you have to entertain all this stuff, but then you need to go back and say, okay, but I need to finish this off. So time management also all comes into this whole story.
Okay, we're drawing to our end. Before we end, what do you say? Where do you put yourself at this point in time? Do you feel that you're a zero still, or do you feel that you've achieved heroism?
I'm zeros in some parts, and I hope I'm hero in some other parts. So zero, I say like the whole world of business, right? I'm a no one. I'm nobody. I'm just starting out. I'm just learning through trials and error and learning from other people. So this whole running, this whole physical space and everything, it's a learning process for me. I'm making things as we go. I'm making things up, and hopefully make things up and then stick with the decision. But from a hero, I hope for some parts of it, like if I manage to inspire some people. It's so funny because I meet people and they're like, hey, congratulations, you open Fluent Space. Like, wow, this is a very successful entrepreneur. Like, which part? Which part? How do you get to the conclusion I'm a successful entrepreneur? Is it because you think it's because I amass all this cash, I can open a business, that part was successful? I guess okay, yeah. For Rails, Ruby on Rails consulting, I'm okay. But I want to see Fluent Space take off. I want to see, I will say I'm a hero if I can the Fluent Space becomes a place where like really important things happen out of here. We have this huge mass of people of different skill sets and all highly motivated. If something happens, if they come together and build something, the next big thing, whatever, I hope I get credited for doing that. That's all I hope for.
I don't think that's very far away.
Hopefully, yeah, these people are really, really talented.
So thank you very much, Kamal, for spending this time with us. It's definitely a very extended time interview. Yeah. So it's something that I will still need to work on for future episodes of the project.
Yeah.
So I wish you all the best.
Thank
wish you all the luck. For everyone at home, thank you for watching.